Hey there everyone, Paler here, and welcome to part 1 of my remastered Dark Souls walkthrough series. So it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube. Not going to go too much into all that, but to keep it short here, basically one of the things I did on YouTube that I enjoyed the most, and it never got a lot of views, but I really enjoyed making it, was my original Dark Souls walkthrough. It was designed for very much new players, very in-depth, trying to do as close to 100% as you could with the game right off the bat, first time out. Now, it's impossible to do everything. There's certain things that you need to go into New Game Plus or do a second playthrough through, because going one route locks you out of the other route. So it's impossible to do 100%, but try to do as close to that for new players as possible. Time has passed, and frankly, those videos are quite bad. I have several episodes of me just farming stuff, and there's no reason for it. It really padded out the hours. The microphone quality isn't very good, and even now the microphone quality is not going to be amazing probably, but I feel I can do it better. There's obviously the Dark Souls Remastered Edition, which we're playing, which does several things. I don't have to deal with DS fix, so I don't have to worry about falling through the floor when I slide down ladders like I did. We don't have to change the frame rate in order to make certain jumps that we couldn't with the higher frame rate, so that'll be nice. And yeah, I'm doing this more for me. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're someone that is looking for a really in-depth guide to Dark Souls. You're new to the game. This is not going to be for veterans. Absolutely not. This is going to be for those brand new people. But we're going to go step by step through the entire game, kill every boss, loot every piece of loot we can pick up, interact with all the covenants that we can interact with, and we're gonna see how it goes from there. This one is going to be more edited than the previous one. The long drawn out parts of repeating things over and over, boss fights, dying multiple times on a boss, because I will die. I'm not gonna go through this game without dying once. That stuff will be edited down, but we'll see how things go. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. We're gonna start with a new game. I'm gonna go off here, character name, we'll go Paler. So I am playing with an Xbox One controller. One X controller, or yeah, Xbox One controller, not One X. That is the best way. I highly recommend that. Other than that, we're on the standard Dark Souls Remastered Edition. So, for people new here, what we're going to be choosing here, I'm going to go with the Thief. Now, I'm going with the Thief because the Thief starts off, and you can read right there, he starts off with the Master Key. The Master Key, basically, because I want to do as much of everything as possible, very early on, within the first few minutes here, we're going to be able to fight a boss. Now, in general, you just run away from the boss, you don't engage him, you come back and you fight him later on. But if you kill him the first time out, you get a special, very high strength weapon that is only obtainable that way. The first time you see him, you gotta fight him, gotta beat him that way, and you get this very high strength weapon that, for the 100%, we're going to look to pick up. Because of this, this means when I go ahead and choose my gift, most people normally under the gift would choose the Master Key. The Master Key unlocks 70%, give or take, of locked doors, so it can make getting through the levels a lot easier. But to do what I want to do, I'm going to take Black Fire Bombs here as my gift. Right? So because of that, I'm then going to take the Thief. I'm explaining this so much because the Thief's starting stats, can I get the mouse here? Yeah. So you see here, the starting stats of the Thief are high dexterity, low middle-ish strength, low middle-ish vitality compared to some of the other classes. If we go through here, like the Knight has higher strength, the Bandit I think has really high strength. Where's the Bandit? Right there. See, the Bandit has high strength. Depending on what you're looking to play, you may or may not want to do this. What I'm going to do for this playthrough is mostly a quality build. By quality, it means you can do a little bit of everything, but you're not great at any one thing. So quality means I'm going to have moderately high strength, moderately high dexterity, but I am going to be more strength focused. The Thief is kind of counter to this. I don't want that much dexterity starting off with, but 15's not bad. Anyway, choose your class depending on what you want. The Pyromancer's perfectly fine. The Cleric's okay. You get an extra heal with the Cleric early on. But for this, we're going to go with that. Physique, I tend to do large upper body. Faces, I don't worry too much about this stuff, so we'll do that. Oops, hair, receding. And black color, go ahead, accept, and we are in. I'm gonna shut up now. We'll watch the intro video.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire. And with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign.
Been a while since I watched that again. Years. I don't remember it being that long. I also don't remember the emphasis on the dark sign.
Yes,
it's kind of a shame.
indeed.
I'm going to be rambling ahead a little bit.
The dark sign brands the undead.
But that changed a lot in 2 and then 3 again.
And in this land,
I want to say that dark sign wasn't even in 2. 3,
the
it's
undead are
there, but it's
corralled and
different.
led to
I'm trying to
fall.
remember. It's been a while since I played through 3. This may end up going through all 3 games. I don't know. We'll see how motivated I am. I tend to get... I start out with this, and it's for myself more. I don't expect anybody to even watch it. But I tend to start out real motivated, and then these games are longer than you think. To do everything in one playthrough on Dark Souls, boy, we could be looking upwards of 60 hours. It's a long game to get through. Looks a little rough. Little rough. The texture quality definitely isn't the greatest, even for the remaster. The nice thing is it's running at a very steady 60 FPS. I don't get the screen tear in. We don't have to hack it to make this work and everything. I know a lot of people, the fact that they charge basically to fix the original Dark Souls, there are a lot of people that weren't happy with that on PC. I enjoy the game so much that it did not bother me. Some will say I'm an apologist for that, but you know, I've put across all the Dark Souls games, including Bloodborne, I'm probably approaching 2,000 hours. Bloodborne and Demon Souls. So it's hard to be like, oh, I'm not getting my money's worth out of it. No, I am. We're gonna go ahead and run. Oh, hang on. So alright, that's something that we want to change. Hold on, once we get to the ladder here. I was trying to do a leap there. We're going to just run by all that stuff. But we'll get to the top of this ladder here. We'll change out a control scheme here. First bonfire lit. Alright, let's go in. Oh, I can't see because my webcam's over it. There we go. That's options, brightness, key settings. Here we go. So we want to change jump to left joystick press in. Save changes. So now we can run and then press and leap. Yep, that's what we want. Much better. Okay. So these black fire bombs are going to come in handy here right now because we are basically already at the first tutorial boss. I don't know how much people played ahead or whatever if you're watching this, but essentially, if you're not playing the way I'm going to be playing, what you're going to want to do is come in through this door. And back left there, you see that lantern on the left? Those two torches? You want to basically run through there. And that's a visual cue. They're actually showing you, hey, look at the light over here. Come run through this. Because big old baddie here, there he is. He's going to drop in. Oh! Hey! Stop that. Now, we're going to just hit him with these black firebombs. It's going to take, I think, 5 in general to kill him. So if we die, we have basically enough for 2 chances. Oh, the backswing. Whoa. Whee! And oh, I didn't get under it. Oh, it's gonna get ugly. We're already playing poorly. I only need a 1 more. There we go. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. It's a little more scary when you don't have 5 Estus flasks to fall back on. I hit OK too quickly. Let's go ahead and hop in here, though. You'll see. So this Demon's Great Hammer, this is the weapon that we can't get. That's the only way to get it. You have to beat him without going through that door. If you play through the mission, or not the mission, but the zone normally, you don't get it. Now, this is not a weapon. We may never use this in-game. If we go ahead and hit hit Y to see on the left there, or on the right there, and then hit X over here. So to equip this weapon, we need 46 strength. We may never get there. We'll probably stop around 35. We might get to 40. I don't know. It depends on how far we want to push. But for now, that weapon's definitely not usable. Even if we two-handed it, we wouldn't be able to wield it efficiently. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Even though we killed the boss, we can't open it because he doesn't drop the key the first time through. Going this route, it kind of does things slightly different. Go ahead and crouch down here. Didn't think the webcam thing out. I put it in the upper right-hand corner because it gets it out of the way of the rest of the UI, other than when I try to open my menu. But I have that pretty well memorized at this point. Took me a second there. Whoop. We are gonna. So in this episode here, I have several things that I want to do. Primarily, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get over to the Firelink Shrine. After we get to the Firelink Shrine, I have about 15 minutes worth of optional things you can do that really make starting off a lot easier. Now, if you don't want to do them, you want to continue on, it's perfectly fine. What it does, though, is just gives you some good pieces of armor, a good shield, a couple of good weapons, plus allows you to up your Estus flask by 1 point, which does give you a good bit more healing. Here we go with our first trap. We'll hop off the edge, let that roll down. I'll run down here and open the lower asylum door now. Come on in here, and we will get our Estus flask. Plus, from this, we get the extra keys now. Could just kill this guy. Doesn't really matter, but if you want to talk to him, yeah, yep. Yes, that's our decision. And he will give us the Estus. Okay. And then there's the Undead Asylum key, the Pilgrimage key, which normally would fall from the boss that we killed if you go through and do it the right way. Go ahead, we're going to open this up, and we're going to get rid of the black fire bombs. And he's going to die, but we can kill him. I think he'll give us a couple souls. Yeah, 100 souls. He was going to die no matter what. Run up here. We'll just go through this like you normally would. So, by default, if you don't fight him, you run through the double door. Basically, you come around here, you run up here, this rolls down, you go to that guy in order to get your Estus flask, at which point you come around, you open this, come out here, and there's a couple of undead, but if you fight these undead, you can then do a plunging attack onto the boss, which will give you a pretty good boost to damage initially when you first start off. With a dagger like this, hey, stop that. With a dagger like this, the plunging attack's not great, but it's still more damage than a heavy attack or anything like that. Go ahead and run through here, get up here behind him, yeah. So generally there would be a fog wall right here. You'd go through the fog wall and you can see right there as we fight the boss, and you'd be able to plunging attack down onto him in order to get some bonus damage on him to start off. Black fire bombs do great. There we go, he's dead. No loot. No loot. Alright. Go ahead and run up here. Now we're going to take a fair bit of damage doing this because there's nothing for us to plunge onto, but it's fine. Drink an Estus. Alright, and now there's one little item we want to pick up as we head out here. So down in here on the left, I think I'm going to shrink down. No. I'm just thinking to myself, I don't like the webcam in there. We might get rid of the webcam. The face cam's nice, but I'd rather have the UI up there, I think, in the videos. Down here, Crow's Nest. For now, there's really nothing we can do. This is... I forget what they're called. The two little crows. They'll talk to you, but we can trade items in there. Just keep that in mind. That is something we will come back to much later on in the game. We're going to go ahead, we're going to head out here. Cutscene will play, and we'll continue on.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords.
Bum bum bum.
Lordran.
The art direction, the environment is both gorgeous, but yet the textures is hideous. It's kind of funny how it looks good, but it also looks terrible all at the same time, in my opinion. It's kind of crazy nowadays. This game is coming around on like 10 years old now, maybe even older than that. Okay. So, for the rest of this episode now, we basically want to just get some housekeeping in order. Now, if you want to just go ahead and play through the game normally like you would without doing any of this stuff, the primary path you want to take is up here. It's fairly linear. Once you start up this pair of steps, it's fairly linear up and through. We're not going to go that way to start off. What we're actually going to do to begin with is we're going to use up as many of our souls as we can, because there's a 70% chance we're going to die with what we're about to do. Alright, I am going to put all my points right now into strength. We're going to start boosting that up. One of the weapons I love in this game, I love in all three of the Dark Souls, I loved it in, it was in Demon Souls also. Was it in Demon Souls? The Zweihander, anyway. So that's going to be what I'm aiming to get towards. It's going to take us a little while, but the Zwei is a primarily strength-based weapon. We need, I think, 10 dex for it, and then 24 strength. So we have a little ways to go. Okay. So we've gone ahead, we're down to 30 souls. Basically, if we die, we lose 30 souls. No big deal. We don't have to worry about running back for our things. We're going to run around here. There's a few items we want to pick up along the way. The first one is not there. Well, you already saw I grabbed the one off the well here. I did that without even thinking. We're going to run up here. There's an item here. If we run down this little path, go ahead and pick that up. Firebomb. Actually, did I get rid of? Yeah, I did. Okay. Just... I don't want to have extra things in my little scroll through inventory there. Should I go over the controls or not? I don't know how in-depth I want to go here. The controls are pretty straightforward. The D-pad cycles, this thing that looks like our D-pad, cycles the D-pad. So pressing right cycles right-hand weapon, left cycles left-hand weapon, down would cycle any items, up would cycle any sorceries or pyromancies if we had those. We don't have any of them equipped. You can talk to this guy. There's not a whole lot to do with him. He is the first Covenant, actually, so I guess we should talk to him. Come on, talk to me again.
I realize that, but I hear no.
So he's going to give us a copper coin. Increases item drop rate, I think.
Oh, I have to await my. So what if I would that?
Yes, go ahead and teach us miracles.
That is a shame.
I actually wanted to click yes on that. They do that to you. Sometimes they intentionally put it on the wrong side, so you have to go back. So there we go. We joined our first covenant. Doesn't matter. We can leave it later on. So we are now in that covenant.
Only
So this is the holy covenant. So this would be to learn. We'll go ahead and we'll learn shrug, but this would be to learn not sorceries, but what are they called? You got sorceries, which are magic. You got pyromancies, and then the faith-based ones. I forget what the faith-based ones are called. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? Miracles, that's right. They're called miracles. So we could learn miracles from him. Now, to learn something, what you do is you basically acquire a scroll of it, and the scroll gives you a certain amount of uses, and then you equip the scroll depending on your attunement. We'll go over all that, I think, pretty in depth. I did say this was going to be completely thorough, so we might as well go into that. But let's first make our first initial loot run. So we're going to continue on up here. There's one item back over here, a small lost soul, small one. We're going to turn right here, and then we're going to drop down. Ta-da! Turn around and run out the back here. We're going to drop down again where there's going to be 3 small chests for us to loot. Gonna loot one there. Homeward Bones. We're going to want those. Alert this one. I think this is the Mace, the Morning Star, and the Talisman. So talismans are used for casting miracles, I think? Those might be, that might be sorceries. I forget. And then one last one out here. Lloyd's Talisman. Okay, moving forward now, our next step, what we want to do is, down there you see the bones and everything, those things are going to come alive, they're going to attack us. We're basically going to death run through this. 50-50 chance we die, but we're going to go get the Zweihander. Although we can't use it, we want it in our inventory, we're also going to get the Wing Spear, which sooner we'll be able to use. We might need a level or 2 to get that in. So we'll grab that item, we'll run down through here. This one right over here is going to be the Zwei. Now, there's a fair chance we're going to get smacked in the back. No, we're going to run up here. There's another really big skeleton. Got to clip around him a little bit. Get out of my way. There's the Wing Spear. Oh no! Oh no! Yep, we're dead. So, it got stuck behind his body. It happens. We lose 30 souls. Oh well. Did I? Yes, we leveled up. I almost worried for a second there that I didn't rest at the bonfire and we'd be back on undead. Nope, we're fine. Okay, we're going to run up here now. There's one item left. No, 2 items left out here we want to get. So this time, get on the other side of this little stone thing. So this is the same graveyard we just died in, just coming at it from a different direction. So we jumped down from, is it up there? No, it's a little further down. Anyway, we jumped down from out there. Before we go that way, though, we turn around here, stick our head right around the backside here. We'll pick up this item. It's another little soul. Basically, once we've picked everything up, we're then going to consume all those souls, and that should give us enough to get another 2, 3, maybe even 4 levels, depending on how things go, how many more times we die, and what stuff dies. We look around here. There's another item right there. There's our crow. Hey, crow. Jump down. Hop down here. Get this. I think this one, nah, it's just a small soul. Alright, we missed binoculars. There's binoculars out there somewhere. Hey! Hey! Leave me alone. Didn't want to fight you. If we go back to the bonfire, they'll reset. All enemies will reset when you hit the bonfire. So come on in here. Hop over there. And they are now reset. So while we're here, let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about our stats and everything. Let's get the weapons that we can use, then we'll do that. That'll come here in the next few minutes. I am going to go in here and I want to set up Homeward Bones. So Homeward Bones, they are Hearthstones, but they're single use. So right now we have 6 of them we can use. And we're going to use at least 2 of them, hopefully 2 of them. There's still a chance we're going to die 2 or 3 more times throughout this. The next item's probably the most important item that we're going to get. The other stuff's equipment, armor, and everything. This next item, though, is going to improve the effectiveness of our healing flasks by, it's like 25-30%. I'm not exactly sure how much. It doesn't really matter. But it does improve the effectiveness of our healing flasks. I'm essentially standing here because basically what I want to do is I want to re-trigger that and send it back to the top. That way we don't have to wait for next time around, because regardless of how this ends, we're going to be back at the bonfire. Drop down, there's an item there. We're going to come on around down here. I want to say, where's the next? There's an item. It's been a little while since there's the other item. Yep, a stock. I think we want that. Let's see here. We can equip it, and it does up our damage. So we're going from an 67 damage to an 88 damage. Damage is not everything, though. We'll get into this here in a moment. Well, I can talk about it as I run. There's a transient curse. Actually, let's focus on what we're about to do here. So we're about to run out here, and we're going to get attacked by a bunch of ghosts. And technically, we could harm them using that transient curse we picked up, but for now, we're just going to sprint by them. I'm actually going to get my Homeward Bone ready to go. I'm going to run out here. I'm going to run to the right here. They have this extended reach attack that they can use. So we're going to ignore that, and then we're going to run this way. And that right there is the item we want, so now we're going to use the Homeward Bone. We're going to get out of there, hopefully, before they grab us. Yeah, probably could have just let them kill us. We had no souls on us. But, hey, one less death on the record when we go. Now we're going to go right back down to the same place. On the way, though, we're going to stop, and right here is the Firekeeper. Say hello to the Firekeeper. She can't talk. She has no tongue. But what she can do is reinforce our Estus Flask. So now if you look at our Estus Flask there, it says Estus Flask +1. So it means it heals us for more every time we use it. And within the 3rd episode, maybe the next episode, we'll have that up to Estus Flask +2, which is quite handy. But this is why I sent the lift back up, so we can come here and go back down. So let's talk weapons a little bit as I go through this next little part here. One of the key things I see a lot of people, a lot of new players that screw up, is they don't really do weapons correctly. By this, what I mean is early on, you're going to see veteran players, if you watch a lot of Dark Souls Let's Plays and stuff, that they'll get one weapon and they will use that weapon. They'll tool hand it, and they'll just go to town and they will destroy the game. For new players, that's not how you want to play. What you want is you actually want 2, maybe 3 weapons. There's a guy here, he's a shopkeeper. You can listen to him if you want to talk to him. But essentially, he's a shopkeeper and a blacksmith. Not a blacksmith, a weapon enchanter. So he can modify equipment. What he mainly does is he will modify equipment if you want to go with a sorcery build. So if you're going heavy int, casting a lot of sorceries, he's going to be your guy that does that. There is some things we could get from him. You can see here, you can get some of the sorceries, also a catalyst. We're not going to worry about that. Be careful with him. What I do, I've done it at least a half dozen times. You finish talking to him and you're pressing B to get out of the menus, and then you press B and you back roll off the edge. Fall to your death. Anyway, we're going to come around here, up here to the next item, or next thing. Here's going to be the first place where we actually use the key. This is the Master Thief key that we used. So open that up. There's an item right around here. We're going to come out here, across this little rickety bridge, hang a left down towards this dragon, where we're probably going to die for the 2nd time. Probably. Did we die yet? Yeah, we died in the graveyard. The graveyard's a 50-50 chance. This one down here is like a 75% chance we die. It happens. What was I saying about weapons? So, anyway, what you got to do is, regardless of if you want to go, so figure out early on in your mind, do you want slow, heavy-hitting weapons, strength-based weapons, or do you want fast, dex-based weapons, or do you want to be more of a sorcery, whatever, that type of thing. Okay, when we move in here to grab these two items, this dragon's going to come alive. So we got a moment to grab him right there, and then he's going to swing, roll. Oh, we dodged it. We dodged it. Run. Run. All right. Normally I die there. Quite normally. That swing he does comes much faster than it initially seems. So regardless, you want to figure out like what type of builds you want to go. We're going to be going, like I said, a quality build, which means kind of general purpose overall with a focus on strength. Regardless though then, within that, when you fight certain enemies, you have to take into account what they are, and there's logical progressions of what affects them. If you're fighting somebody with really heavy armor, a sword like this, the stock here, isn't going to do a whole lot. Now, if you get past his shield, you know, it's going to do damage, but it's going to be severely restricted. Against somebody wearing really heavy armor, a blunt force weapon, something like, wrong button, something like the Morningstar here, or a mace that we may be getting, or the Demon's Great Hammer, is going to work much better against a blunt force enemy. If you're fighting groups of enemies, this is stock is not very good. It doesn't have a wide open, I mean, there is that one swing there, but it only has a kind of slow swing up. Something that has more of a wide swing is going to be far more effective. If you're fighting a fast enemy, now the stock is quite good because the stock is quite fast on its attack. The stock also allows me to block and then attack, so I can attack while blocking. So you're going to need several different weapons, generally at least 2 weapons, one for heavier enemies, slower enemies that's a little more blunt force, and one for faster, quicker enemies that's a little more wide swinging, things along that line. So just keep that in mind. Don't focus in on just getting one weapon. Find 2, maybe even 3 weapons that work for you. We're actually going to also go ahead and change, while we're here, we're going to come in here and I'm going to change out my shield. So let's understand our stats a little bit. So Y is going to change the right hand side there. X is going to change the left hand, or triangle, square, depending on what you're on. Okay, so this little shield we have right now, the target shield, it has a physical damage of 56. So this is if you just bash someone with the shield, it's going to do a little bit of damage. Has a critical chance. The critical doesn't really mean anything on this. But what we're more looking at is over here on the damage reduction side. So this little target shield only reduces damage by 78%, meaning I still have 22% of all physical damage. Even if I block it with the shield perfectly, I still take 22% of the damage. It has a 30% magic damage block, 70% fire, and so on. Also has a stability of 45. Stability is how much stamina gets drained when you get hit. The smaller that number, well, let me double check that. Yeah, the smaller that number, the more stamina gets drained. That way, so you could probably block 2 heavy attacks with that, whereas this one here with a stamina drain of 55 would probably be able to block 3 before you get staggered. So that's the main thing. What we want is, I like no matter what to have 100% physical damage reduction. At least 95. There's a few really good shields out there that have like 95, 98% physical reduction, but the reason we risked that dragon was mainly for this shield right here. This Dragon Crest shield is a really good start-off shield. We also did pick up the Astora Straight Sword here. We'll go in here and look here. Now this sword is, by all accounts, a bit better. You can see here it actually has 109 damage. So if we go to what I currently have as the stock, I do 88 damage, where the Storage Sword is doing 109 damage on my right-handed equipped. However, we're not fully making use of this weapon. Down here, if you look, so here is your strength. This is what it requires. It requires strength. We have enough because it's in white. We have enough dexterity. It doesn't require any intellect, but it does require 14... I forget what that stat's called. Faith. So here you can see the different stuff: vitality, attunement, endurance, strength, dex, resistance, intelligence, faith. So it requires 14 faith. We don't have that much faith. So while we could use this weapon, its damage is actually higher than this. We just don't have the stats to use it properly. Likewise, if we look at the Zweihander here, like I said, this weapon, if we equip it real quick, and then put it on, you can see this thing. This thing's massive. This thing should do a lot more damage than it was actually showing in there. The reason it's showing so little is because we don't have the stats to properly equip it. We need a lot more strength in order to equip this. Let's mouse back over it. So we need 24. However, if we have 12 strength, So right here, if our strength was 12, which it is, we could technically actually use this thing dual wielded. So it gets split up. If you have 12 strength, that's basically per arm. That means I have 24 if I'm using it two-handed, which we could do, and we can demonstrate this by right here. Nope, I need one more. I need one more. Sorry, it's actually still X'd out there. If I had 13, it would be enough. Or is it? Man, I'm forgetting my numbers. Is it 30% more? I thought it was 24. We have 12 strength. We'll come back to that. We'll revisit that. I'm forgetting something. What about the wing spear here? Can we use that? Nope, we need one more strength to use the wing spear. Alright. Anyway, their damage is reduced, and that's why. I thought it doubled it. Apparently it doesn't. Maybe it's doubled rounded down? No, even then 24 doesn't round down or up. It's 12. Alright, we're just going to run by these. There's 3 big sludge dudes here. We're just going to run by. Woo! They will poison you if they hit you, so that was a lucky roll. Go ahead and continue on through here. They are going to chase you. Don't freak out too much. They're pretty slow. We can come here. There's a chest right here. You don't really need to grab this. This is a key, and it's a key to the gate we opened before we went down to the dragon. Hey, that wasn't nice. Leave me alone. I should have just jumped off that ledge. Go here. Hop down here. Come around. Now this one here, we do want to slide down this ladder. So the third ladder is a little bit longer. You want to slide down this ladder. Don't jump. To slide down ladders, get on them. Don't press anything but B. Right? If you're pressing down on the joystick or whatever, it won't slide. You want to just let go of everything and hold B down, and that will slide you. You're going to jump off on top of that little lizard, laser, whatever the hell that thing is. Come out here, run under this. I should be explaining this. So what we're doing is right now is we're going out and we're getting a fairly good early light set of armor that we're going to be equipping a fair bit of it. It's actually sorceress armor, or sorcerer armor, but it has really good stats for this early on. We're going to open this chest here, get a, what is it, a sorcery? Yep. And now we're going to homeward bone out of here. Whee! Okay, so we got through all of that. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the homeward bones. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to equip just any of these that we have multiples of. Put the 4 on there. There's the 2. Let's see, the 1. The 1. And then we'll go here and we will use that one. Use item. Okay. Essentially, we're just going to consume all of the souls we have and start moving on. So like I said, I do want to get this Y-hander. That is important to me. Getting up to that 24 strength so we can use that one-handed like we normally would be great. But we don't want to handicap ourselves too much this early on by going too heavy into it. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll sit down here and start leveling up a little bit. But we'll probably take strength up to about 15 and then put the rest in vitality, leaving me needing 9 more as we continue on. So there we go. We have 5,600 souls now we can consume. Come in here, level up. So yeah, strength, we'll take that to 15. That's a fairly good starting point. We know we can use the wing spear there. I think this is enough dex. We might need 18 dex for the Uchigatana, which is going to be a dex weapon. We'll get in a little bit. But now the rest we will put in our vitality, and we will level up. A few things. So attunement, this is exactly what it says. It allows you to attune more spells. So if we come out of there and we go into attune magic, which you can only do at bonfires, you can see we have, I just tried to point at my screen. We'll use the mouse cursor. We have 1 attunement slot for having that. If we look here, remedy requires 1 slot. No, does it? No, it has 4 uses, requires 1 slot. Yeah, I gotta look at it a little weird. So, requires 16 intellect, 0 faith, has 4 uses per equipped, takes up 1 slot. So in theory, we could equip remedy if we had the int, but it won't actually do us any good. We might be able to equip it. Yeah, we can equip it, but we can't use it. It's grayed out, similar to that. Go back in there, attune magic, we'll just get rid of it for now. The Covenant, you can see the Covenant we are in. Kindle will come up with that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We've already leveled up. Well, go back in here. So that's what attunement does. It unlocks more slots. At first, it unlocks them fairly quickly. You get a slot about every 2 or 3. Once you hit 19 or 20, then it slows down. But it's easy to get 3 or 4 slots fairly quick. Endurance, that is your stamina bar. Increasing endurance will increase that. In fact, it tells you, does it not tell you? Explanation, there we go. So endurance, equipment load, stamina, and resistance. So we will be putting quite a bit into this for both the equipment load and for the increased endurance. Strength adds more strength weapons, also boosts attacks, dexterity. Resistance is just a straight up resistance, primarily against physical and poison, as you can read right there. Humanity is something different. That'll make more sense as we get a little bit further into the game. Humanity, you see this number up here? That's our humanity. Right now we have none. You gain humanity either by consuming items, called humanity, or just by being successful in the game, if that makes sense. As you go along and you kill enemies without resting at bonfires and without dying, you will slowly earn humanity. We'll probably earn 1 in the next video. All right, let's come out of there. I'll come in here. Now can we dual wield this Y? Oh, because I'm an idiot. The Zweihander takes 25 strength, not 24. Now we can... No? Is that only Dark Souls 2? Huh. I know in one of them you can dual wield weapons. So we have 15, which I thought would allow us to use anything up to 30. That requires 24. No, not letting us. Let's go down here. Let's look at the wing spear now. So the wing spear takes us from... We were on a stock. So it bumps us from 90 up to 102. We can see that there is scaling. So this is another thing to look at. So this is how things scale. If we look at, say, the Estoc, the Estoc has D scaling with strength, C scaling with dexterity. The Zweihander, C scaling with strength, D with dexterity. This Demon Hammer, no scaling with dexterity, but B with that. So as we'd pump in more strength, we'd actually boost that weapon a little bit more. The Wing Spear, this down here is a catalyst. So this was one of the items we picked up with our red armor. This allows you, with the right hand, it's actually a spear. So the heavy, this the right trigger, it's that. But the right bumper would cast any sorcery. So if you are going a spellcaster type build, if you did choose that early on back at the starting screen, this weapon is a good catalyst for that because it also doubles as a melee weapon without trying to flip it out. We'll go ahead and get the Wing Spear. Then we also picked up the Sealer set. The Sealer set generally across the board is better, with the exception of the Equip Load. Equip Load is important for your roll, but for now we're going to go ahead and we'll put that on. It is better than that. I don't think it's better than the gloves. Nope, the black leather gloves are better. Other than curse resistance, we're not dealing with curse anytime soon. And that right there is also better. Okay, now that did raise our equip load. The equip load is the last thing we should really talk about. Where's my stats? Right there. So right now we are 18.2 out of 49. There's 3 breakpoints. It's 33% and 66%. So I guess there's 2 breakpoints. If you're below 33%, you have super fast rolls. If you're between the 33 and the 66, you have slower rolls. And if you're above the 66, you have very slow rolls. Right now, we are in the middle, right? So if we actually come in here, if we use the right buttons and went naked, now you can see you roll farther, you recover faster. You also have your stamina's, I think, a little more efficient. So that's one of the things you do want to keep in mind. Generally, I play in the middle point. I stay below that 66 mark. I find that to be kind of just works for me. I have armor to protect me a little bit from mistakes that I make, while also not being too slow, too encumbered. If we put the Zwei on, that may be enough. Actually, if we just put the Demon Hammer on, that's going to be enough to really... There's the fatty roll. You can see it take a long time to stand back up. And your invulnerability frames, which are very important in this game, the iframes are only that initial where you're kind of on your shoulder. Once you're starting to come back around, you're out of the iframes. So there's quite a bit in this where you are actually vulnerable to attack. Go ahead and change that back to the wing spear. Okay, we've got things set up. We're ready to start killing things. For now, though, go ahead and do yourselves a favor. Start working your way up through there. And we'll pick up from here in episode 2. I'm probably going to get rid of the face cam, and we'll go from there. Until next time, though, this has been Paler. Thanks for watching.